Welcome back to the final episode of Blasting Through the Burieds. Now, at this point, we are at the normal depth. The tea diffuser is all the way down to the bottom, covered up by sand. And we're going to bring our dog in here shortly. And we will run the 4 boxes, just like the 4-box protocol, like we do when we said we were starting off with the shell game. We're going to give him a few reps. Once he understands it, we're going to space him out a little bit. Play like a 4-corner game. If that goes well, then you're going to see us do the novice sit-up. Now, because my dog, this whole time I've been demoing food, he isn't a food reward dog, and it's all about building value to the odor, right? Odor pays. Building value, keeping the search intensity high, but the focus is high as well, and creating that balance, right? So go back to your chart. What's our goal? We want to be at an 8 on both of them, around a 7 or 8 on both of them. So when you see me reward with him on the odor, I will mark it, yes, with my verbal marker, just like we were using food, but I am going to pay with a ball. He's going to get it. I'm going to bring him down closer to source, and I'm going to give him a little bit of interaction at source. A little pop, 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 pop. Not a lot, nothing crazy, just enough to hold that nose down there to odor, and you'll have the dog. If we were on the wall, we'll do a run on the wall in the future so you can hear him breathing, but the whole time he's getting that pop, he's inhaling at the same time. So he's taking in that odor while he's getting that pop, 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 pop. Thus creating the highest value to the game. Now, pay attention to that, because later on when we demo something and we talk about, is it possible to get through all these distractions? If my dog's food reward, can I get through it to where my dog will leave food alone in the search? Absolutely, but that's another video. Same reason, my dog is heavily food motivated, heavily toy motivated, but you're going to see him. The toys have no meaning. The tennis ball has no meaning. The Kong has no meaning, except for in connection with the odor. So he may pick one up and spit it out and continue the search. He may ignore it totally. It only has meaning as it relates to the game. And what he wants is that interaction and odor. He doesn't care about it. We get to a point to the dog where the dog doesn't care about that primary reward unless it's connected with the odor. So you'll see the videos where we pour out 100 tennis balls in front of a dog that's toy motivated coming in. That's going to be a video we post real soon. And we're going to talk about that. So to keep the value high for this, you're going to see me bring my dog in. You're going to see me reward with a toy. We're going to give him a couple runs. And then we're going to go to the standard. Now, after we do this, you may ask, hey, what about advanced when we go to water? Well, we introduce water the same way. So the water hides just to build confidence for my students. The dogs have it, but to build confidence for my students and to allow repetition, repetition, repetition of meaning to the dogs, we will do it very similar. We will mimic everything just like you see at the day of the event. We will add the water, add the water, add the water, until we get to the regulation water level. At this point, we won't, depending on the dog, we may, but typically we just put out the boxes, the containers, and let the dog search, and we slowly add the water. If a dog struggles, which they shouldn't, then we can peel it back. That's the beauty of foundational practices. We can take steps back, clean things up, and go forward. But if our foundation isn't good, folks, if we don't have a good foundation to start with, you're always going to struggle. You can get through novice and advanced, but once you start going past excellent and mastered, that's when it gets real. That's when you see the people that have poor foundations, you start seeing cracks. You start seeing things surface. So that's why it's so important to spend the time and do it right from the beginning. You don't build a house without a strong foundation. We don't go on to higher levels of scent work without a strong foundation. So, we're going to start. You're going to see me bring the dog in. We're going to run. We're going to go through this, and we're going to wrap this video series up. We're going to continue with some other stuff. We have a lot of good stuff coming, folks. Thank you for being a member. But hopefully this cleared up a lot of stuff for you folks on the buried. And you're going to see us start getting into interior searches next. Interior searches will be our next video. And then exteriors and then vehicles. Okay, so we're back to the 4-box protocol. Odor's in the bottom. We're starting with the first box because the way he is, containers and buried. I start at the first box, and then once we're ready, obviously I'm going off of food to the toy. Ready? Find it. Good check. Good check. Good check. Good check. Good. Good. So this is the first time he's seen it at the deepest odor. Good. 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 Yes. Good man. I'm going to bring him back. Give him some interaction at source. Pop, 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 pop. Just little pops. Nose down there. Taking in odor the whole time. Okay. All right, so we're going to give him another run laid out like this before we go to 4 corners. We're slowly introducing the appearance of the novice run to the dogs and handlers. That's why we're doing it like this. With him, he's toy motivated. I don't know if you got a good angle. What I'm doing when the nose goes to source, I'm marking just like with the food, and I'm bringing him back and giving him multiple little pops. This is training. Pop, 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 pop. The whole time he's down there, he's taking in that odor. So while he's inhaling the birch, he's getting rewarded. Pop, 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 pop. Interactions at source with the tug, just like we would do with the food. Yes, 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 and jackpot it with the food. Ready? Find it. Good check, good check, good check, good check, good check. Good, 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 good. I'm tangled up my microphone. Good, good. Yes! So, marked it when he's down, bring him back. Pop, 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 pop. There it is. He's taking that in the whole time. Find it. Good check. Good check. Good check, buddy. Good check. Good check. Good. 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 Yes. Good. So I'm going to go to this angle so you can see. Pop, pop, pop. Good. All right, so here we are. We've done the 4 corners. We're at a point where it looks like a novice run, a novice buried run. So, like I said, my dog, on our little chart, if you remember the intensity focus chart, my dog's intensity is sometimes through the charts, and I'm trying to bring more focus. And you'll notice he'll circle 2-3 times before he settles in. So, lower levels, obviously, I'm going to struggle with this dog until I get more focus, until I get more control. Higher levels is going to be fine because he just has that high intensity. So we're going to give him a run. Ready? Find it. Good check. Good check. Good. Good check. Come on. Check, check. Good check. Good check. Good. 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 Yes. So I mark it with my verbal yes, my verbal marker down there, so I can reward away from it, but I'm going to bring him back to source, hold that nose down. You see what he's doing? Holding that nose down, multiple sessions, boom, boom, boom. And I can create the game here at source with tugging at source, 10 seconds, 15, 20, 30, as long as we want. As you can see, my dog's intensity is through the roof. We have to kind of bring him back into focus. We're trying to raise his focus, get that balance. We talk about how important it is to create balance. We also talk about how important it is for that foundational practice to get the good solid foundation, because he started circling. Of course, I've got ceiling fans on in here, AC, overhead AC, a lot of drafts from multiple doors. So this training environment, if you show up for a workshop, it's a little tough. This building has 4 exit doors, overhead ceiling fans, and then AC running, and a hallway with the door open that's pulling and drafting. So it is a little difficult in this environment. However, because he was a little bit somewhat struggling and not checking all of them, I simply went back to the foundation, right? When we're talking about the shell game, good check, good check, good check. And why is that? Because then I can say, hey, come on, check, check. And he just goes over here and checks this box. Okay, come on, check, check. I can bring him back over. Boom. I can do my just a light little point. I'm not guiding the dog a whole lot, just giving a little bit of guidance. After all, we want the dog to be free from most of our input. We want a problem-solving dog. We want that dog that is confident and requires minimal input from us. So we're going to be doing very little coercing the dog. If the dog's not checking, we can just simply say, come on, check, check, and the dog gets back on track. No, come on, check, check. And as the dog comes across, we've got the loose leash, we pass it off. We'll talk about leash skills in another video, but we do have a fun little phrase that we use. We call it booger flicking. We keep the leash loose in our hand, and when we say, no, come on, check, check, and we point over here, it's almost like flicking a booger. Just as light as you would a booger, flick a booger. You can say you've never flicked a booger. Us from the country, we've flicked a booger before. Okay, so we've flicked a booger, booger flicking. Come on, check, check. Come on, check, check. Dog crosses over me. Boom. Booger flicking. Boom, right? So like I said, we want to have minimal input. Let the dog solve the equation. Let the dog become independent from us. Let the dog build its confidence by the games we're going to show. So this finishes up the blasting through the burieds. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. But we would introduce the water basically the same way. Go back. I may even just lay out the water in the standard format. Kind of start with the novice before I add, additional ones. But reality is, if your dog can search 6, it can search 9, and it can search however many we need to add. To build up confidence for the handlers and the dogs, I would slowly add my water. Because it's a mental game on so many of us, and not really the dog. Most of the time, we struggle. We feel like we have to outthink the dog. Don't outthink the dog, folks. The dog knows. Trust your dog. That's going to be an upcoming video. Your dog never lies. So, hope you enjoyed this. I will see you back next week, folks, and thanks for being a member.